What is up, guys? It is JRob here from Team Energy Golf Clash, and we are bringing you guys the Fall Major Pro&Expert Tournament Guide this week. Playdemic has dropped the Parc Paris course on us this week for the Fall Major, and we could not be more excited. But without further ado, before we get the Pro&Expert level guide started, if you guys haven't hit that subscribe button for us down there, click the subscribe button. Click the bell, and we will definitely catch you guys in the video. We're always bringing you guys the latest Golf Clash content. Alright guys, what is up? Glad to be back. It's been a little bit of a hectic week, but I'm really glad to be back with you guys making another video. So what we're going to do here on hole number 1, there's actually a couple really awesome ways that we could play this hole potentially by the wind that we do have. If we do have this wind here, kind of pushing back at us as a headwind, we're going to kind of dish it off here to the right-hand side, and we're going to play, a layup attempt. We can play that one of two different ways, but this here is going to either be played with mid or max distance here at 10% off of the tee box, and it's just basically going to set ourselves up here for a really nice second shot at the pin, depending on whichever option we choose here. Now, if we have another one of those winds off the drive, like a tailwind, we could actually play, there's an island to the left where, we can use that little bit of an elevation and the wind to get over onto that plateau with full topspin and curl to the right and be able to actually drive the green. But I wanted to show you guys my opponent's shot here because he played a nice bounce over the bunker shot here. You can use anywhere from no topspin to just about a bar of topspin here to get yourself over the bunker. This is going to be a mid-distance shot here at 0%. So what we're looking for is just making sure that we check our club distance here. That was, a perfect ball. He definitely could have made that shot if he would have made his adjustment there at mid-distance. I believe he actually made that for minimum distance here. But if you don't feel comfortable taking that option here, what we can do is play an aggressive backspin approach with the Grim Reaper here. We're going to just kind of keep in mind what holes we're playing as far as what clubs we want to use, because that's really going to be a big factor in, making sure that we're going to get in the right position to where we know what club we're going to use for a specific shot that we want to try, or so on and so forth here. So I should have went one more ring here further than I did. I played this actually at mid distance. I should have played this at max. So if you're going to play this shot here, I would recommend playing that at max distance, but it's going to be a fairly good option there as well. So good luck with that one, guys. Going to be a decent hole there. You're going to see some people snag that eagle. So a good first hole there to snag an extra stroke. But also going to be one of those ones that if we do have a really aggressive wind, we'll have another outstanding option to play this hole from the left-hand side off of the island and possibly drive the green. Alright guys, so we're going to move on over here to hole number 2, par 3 for Parc Paris. So we can play this one a couple different ways as well. So depending on the wind that we have, minimum distance here on our sniper is right about behind where my target is, right there. So we basically can play this shot right here at minimum distance plus 20% with any wind but a tailwind. So if we have to adjust back, that's going to, mix us into clubs. So I would actually recommend playing this with potentially the Goliath here, or a, the B52, something like that with a little bit of a higher distance on your long iron, so that we could, adjust into overpower with that wind, with a couple bars of backspin straight to the pin, with some right side spin. If you don't feel comfortable with that, as you can see there, at 20%, I played that at 10% there at first. So if we play that at 20% with 11 rings, I should have moved that 11 rings there. So if we play that at 20%, we're going to come in straight at the pin. But if we don't feel comfortable with that, like I was saying, we can take this here to the right-hand side. What we can do is basically play it in a little bit of a pocket there on the right-hand side with some left-hand side spin, full left-hand side spin with whatever ball you're using. I would recommend about 3 bars at least here, using a katana ball. We can play it right there with the Guardian at full backspin if you don't feel comfortable, pulling it back with the sniper and using some curl here. We're going to use about 40% curl to the left with full backspin and left-hand side spin. We're going to play this at 20% as well from the right-hand side, and just make sure that you get your curl right, and you should be able to come in there slow enough to catch the pin and take that hole-in-one. You're going to need a little bit less curl than I had right there, because as you see, we come in, about 1.0 or so to the left. So going to be a little bit of a trickier par 3 there, depending on the wind that they give us. But one that you are going to see some people get holes-in-ones on. Just kind of all depends on the wind, like I said. So good luck, guys, and just pay attention to that. But all right, guys, this one here is hole number 3, par 5. We're going to play this one a couple different ways here as well, depending on the wind that we have. We had a pretty aggressive wind angle here, so I was able to use, at least a power 3 ball here. I would recommend you can actually get over there, if we have this aggressive of a wind with, a power 1 or a power 2 here. But I would recommend using about 3 to 4 bars of topspin here off the drive, especially if we're going, with the overpower here, to really try to land it with some curl here to the left, down on that second fairway there. So we're looking to play this here with plus 10% elevation and max distance off the tee box, and land ourselves down on that little S-curve, push ourselves down here as far as we can. Now, if we have a headwind and we have to play the bounce over shot, now I would definitely recommend playing this hole with the big dog here, because we're going to have to lay up and bounce off of this fairway there to the left that bunker's on, and we're going to have to angle it to the right with a couple bars of topspin and get it down towards the pin. You can play it with the sniper as well, just to make sure that you have that distance, though. If you're not as comfortable, play that, with the big dog. But if we can play that aggressive angle and get down here and really make a nice sniper shot here to the pin, what we're going to do here at 10.3, I actually played this, at just 0% here. But if we play this at minus 5% at mid-distance here, what we're going to do is play this 10.5 mile an hour wind angle at, or 10.3, we're going to play that at actually 9 rings. So that's going to give us the little bit of wind that we needed here to push us further up there towards the pin, and really get that, a nice albatross there. So another one of these courses here, kind of like Gokasho last week, that we had, that's going to be all about, really checking your club distances, and making sure that we make, the right adjustments here to really land a lot of those much needed shots. So good luck. But okay, guys, that is going to lead us over now to hole number 4, par 3 here. So this one can be played a couple different ways as well. If you want, you could actually play this here with the Rocket. A power 1 ball here, so we could play it with full backspin and just lay it right up on the green and putter in for the birdie. You could maybe get a hole-in-one if you get lucky. But there's a pretty solid way, that we could play this here laid back at mid-distance here, plus 20% off the tee box. So I would recommend actually playing this with just a little bit more backspin. I'd say about 1.5 bars to 2 bars here, rather than playing this with just a bar. Now at 9.3 here, I moved this over 11 rings here. So it came in fairly perfect there, right on a line, but we had just a little bit too much speed there to actually get down into the pin. So what I want you guys to do there is just play that with just a little bit more backspin there, so you don't get robbed and hit the pin and just end up bouncing out like that. So play that with about a 1.5 bars backspin there, and you should be very close. Moving on to hole number 5, par 4 though here. What we're going to do here on this hole, the best possible option in my opinion here is playing this one to the right-hand side. My recommendation would play this with a power 2 katana ball here. We have that 3 bars of right-hand side spin that's really going to help us, get straight down the middle of that right-hand fairway to bounce over that water. So what we're going to do here is play this at mid-distance with our driver here off the tee box at plus 10%. So 9.0, I just moved this here at 9.0 rings there, right into the middle of the clear there. So what you're going to do is just use a little bit of curl if you want to help, guide your ball a little bit more to the right there, and just get yourself as far down that fairway over there as we possibly can, because we're going to set ourselves up here for a really nice short iron shot at the pin. Now, depending on the distance that you have and how far you get up there, you may have to play this shot here with a thorn with a full backspin approach, where you bounce up and over the pin and it kind of rolls back down into the pin. So this is, essentially the type of shot that I wanted to show you. Or you can pull that back and use about 2 to 3 bars of backspin here. And, like I said, really try to pay attention to your club distances here, because that is why we just miss this shot. So at 8.3 here, wind angle, what I should have done here is I moved this just to the clear, and we should have moved this halfway into the white ring. So if we make sure that we make our wind adjustments correctly, we'll really be able to nail a lot of these shots. So gonna be a really, really great opportunity here at hole number 5 to really snag an eagle. You're gonna see a lot of, players really stress trying to land that shot, because this is gonna be one of those ones that we're really gonna have to make, if we want to get that eagle and stand out. So just make sure that we make our wind adjustments correct, and you should be a-okay. All right, guys, we're going to move on to our next par 5 here, though, at hole number 6. So this is going to be a absolute great albatross opportunity here on this hole. Off the drive here, we're going to play this with plus 20%. I kind of used a little bit of the elevation to my advantage here. I kind of backed off just a little bit and put the red ring about, where my rough line was, so I knew about how far up the elevation was going to blow my ball here. So I just made a clear ring adjustment, but make sure that you account in for that elevation so that that doesn't mess you up. We're going to play this here with a little bit of curl to the left and say about 20% here. Just make sure that our ball bounces off of that first little plateaued fairway there really nice, so we can get ourselves further enough down here so we can get a really nice albatross opportunity to the pin. And I would recommend playing this either with a power 2 or a power 3 ball, depending on whichever you feel most comfortable with. But keep in mind, if we do have a tailwind like I do here, we will have to push our target up just a little bit, or we'll have to use just a little bit of underpower. If you do have a crosswind or a headwind or just about any other wind than this tailwind that I had here, you should be able to make a really nice adjustment at 4 bars of backspin and 2 bars right side spin, and you should be able to get a very nice albatross attempt in here dialed in. So we're going to play this at minimum distance at 0%. So you'll be very, very close bringing that in. I just had to use that little bit of underpower there and kind of guess, as far as how, much underpower to really use, because that's a fairly hard thing to do. So it's definitely not like using overpower, but just keep in mind that if we don't have, a tailwind, you'll be able to make a really nice adjustment there and hopefully grab that albatross. But all right, guys, that is going to move us on over to hole number 7 here, par 4. This is one of the trickier par 4s here that we do have. Might be for some of you. That little patch of trees right there by the green is going to be, a very big problem for some of you, I feel like, because I've seen a lot of people, especially here in practice, just bombing it right down, as close as they can to those trees. And that's actually a really bad thing to do because you can't get around them for your second shot to, get to the pin. So what we're going to do here is play this from mid or max distance here, depending on whichever shot that we go with. If we play this one here to the left-hand side, it's going to be mid-distance plus 10%. We're just looking to basically get down as far towards this left-hand side as we possibly can here to get the straightest shot at the pin as we can, to try to eliminate the curl that we're going to use there. The best opportunity here, if you don't want to go with the left-hand side here, is just basically playing this with either the rock or the quarterback. You can play it with the extra mile if, that's the club you want to use or it's in your bag, whatever. But it's just basically straight down here. He played it with about a bar backspin, I think, here. You can play with a bar topspin if you want, just depending on whichever, distance you want to get down here. But we're essentially looking for anywhere around, 250 yards there. But if we're playing from the left-hand side, moving back over here, what we're going to do is essentially use that little bit of a hill down to the green to our advantage here. Now, what we're going to do is use, about 4 to 5 bars of backspin. I would recommend about 5 because you will grab momentum, pushing yourself down the hill. So just make sure that you make a nice adjustment here at mid-distance plus 20%. I actually forgot about the elevation there, so that's why you saw me hit great left. But basically just make sure that you account for that elevation as well, because it will blow your ball a little bit more further than you think. But if we go back to the right side option here, you actually have a fairly nice option, especially if you do have a higher level B52 like my opponent here with really great ball guide. You could use a little bit of top spin there, or a little bit of backspin, and you could get at least a straightforward approach there at plus 20% towards the pin. So that's gonna be a really nice opportunity there. As you can see, the ball guide will bring you straight up that little bit of a hill, and it will actually roll your ball straight back so that you can catch the pin and drop in. If not, you can actually play that, with a couple bars, and I'd say about a bar and a half of backspin, and then, it'll basically just roll you straight into the pin instead of rolling up the hill and then back down. So whichever, option you guys really feel is best here, but it's going to be a fairly decent option either way. If we go back to the left-hand option, it's going to be a little bit harder to, curl around there and catch the pin on the way down. So the right side option is definitely your best attempt at really grabbing that eagle. All right, though, guys, that's going to move us on over to hole number 8, par 3, the last of the par 3s that we have here. So this may be a trickier par 3 for a lot of you guys. So what we're basically looking for is finding, a really good landing spot here that, isn't too sensitive, that, we're going to be able to get a nice shot towards the pin. So this is a fairly good spot there with just the blue ring just almost touching the rough line there. So as you can see, I had a 10.4 mile an hour wind, and I actually just moved that to 10.4. So we should have moved this one more ring over to account for our plus 10% elevation here at mid distance. So That's why you're going to see me come in here a little bit further to the left here, because our landing spot is very sensitive, because the fairway has a lot of little dimples and holes in it, and it's unforgiving. So what we need to try to do is, basically take in effect where our target zone is going to be and really try to dial in that exact spot. If you don't feel comfortable, using that position that I just showed you with about a bar of backspin and about a bar of right side spin, we can push our target up just a little bit into this zone here, and we can use roughly 4 bars of backspin here and about a bar of right-hand side spin or left-hand side spin, depending on how far to the left or right we put our target here. The only thing that you have to worry about is, as you can see there, my target zone is kind of, it's sensitive. Like I said, if you hit the wrong position, it's going to bounce your ball, extremely one way or the other. So, you could be off just a little bit and it's going to look like you were off by a mile. So this hole is a very tricky one as far as, really being able to make sure that you make a good wind adjustment there. See, I was a ring off there, and, it looked like we were 3. So, it's just a matter of really making a nice wind adjustment on this hole and, playing it at mid-distance plus 10% there. All right, guys, so we're going to wrap it up here with hole number 9, par 5 here for the fall major. So what we're going to do here off the drive on this hole is play this at mid-distance, 0% elevation. So what we're going to do is take every single little bit of distance that we can possibly get down towards the end of this fairway. We're going to play with about a bar of topspin here, but we want our ball guide, just down, right at the end of that bunker. We don't want to roll into the rough, but we want to be as far down there as we possibly can. I can't stress that enough. So I would recommend playing this with at least a power 3 ball, but if you have a power 5 ball, I would definitely recommend playing that on this hole, as well as playing either the big dog here or the cataclysm. So we're definitely going to want to pay attention to this tree line here as well. We want to get as far up there as we can, but we don't want to be too far up there. We want to be just about right there at max distance where my big dog is now, because if we get too far up there, we're going to hit the tree line, and then, our ball is going to hit the tree line, hit the rough, and then roll out in the fairway, or it might not even roll in the fairway at all. But we're going to play this shot here at plus 10% at max distance. Now, you just saw me push my target up there. Now, I shouldn't have pushed my target up there. I should have left it back where my wind adjustment was, because as you've seen there, we just hit the tree line and we hit the rough and barely rolled out. So definitely keep that in mind and make sure that, you make a good wind adjustment and trust your wind adjustment there. If I would have just trusted my wind adjustment there, we would have been, right up next to the hole, because all that topspin would have hit real nice into the rough there at the perfect spot. I had it at 10% there, because 8.7 was to the white there. We moved it 6 rings there. It was very, very close, as long as I didn't push the target up. But just keep that in mind, make a nice adjustment, and you should even have a good opportunity at actually getting the albatross opportunity there with a big dog or a cat. So, going to be a fun last hole, guys. But that is going to be the wrap up there, guys, for the fall major tournament guide. I really, really hope that this guide helped you guys. And if you've watched this guide so far, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, hit that subscribe button for me, guys. Join the Team Energy family and help us spread the good vibes and positivity out there on the course. We are always trying to bring you guys the latest Golf Clash content, and we're trying to make an awesome community of golfers out here to really spread the knowledge and positive vibes. So click that subscribe button for us, and we will catch you in the next video. Peace.